Hey everybody, this is Matt Leap from Pioneer Midwest, and I am here with Ian Ivins and Jeremy Hecker, and we are going to recap the 2025 Birkie. It was a great race. Uh, thank God the Birkie was able to do full course. That made everyone's day. It just made it super legit. It was like a real Birkie, not a lapped race, and which is fun. We did that last year. That was very exciting. Um, but this was all of the Birkie Hills, which was tough but super fun. And I am going to talk about a little race recap, and then Ian's going to talk about ski selection, grind selection, hand structure, and Jeremy's going to talk about the wax service and wax selection. Um, from from the pointy end of the race, for me anyways, it was quite a good day. Uh, I had amazing skis. Thank you guys. I did no ski testing, no wax testing, no structure testing. I left it all in my staff's capable hands. So I was captain goes down with the ship, so I was at the store until Friday late afternoon, and then I drove up, and the guys had all my skis, and I just said, I'll see you at the start line. Hand me whatever is the best, and I'll go push on them as hard as I can for as long as I can. And that was quite exciting. Also, we pick skis and wax skis for a number of athletes, including Gerard, who won the men's race. We waxed for him. That was exciting. I was a little sad because I knew he'd have skis as good as mine, but it was a level playing field, which is great. He's a young, fit guy, and I visited him a year and a half ago in France on his dairy farm, and that was really cool. And he was super pumped with our wax service, and he launched off the front right before High Point, and then soloed for the race. And then I knew he was going to do that because he told me, and I watched it go away. It didn't look like it was going to stick to me, and I definitely was nervous about going 50K really fast. I've been doing some good intensity recently, but I haven't got the volume. The long skis, I didn't do enough long skis this year, so I didn't want to be the one to chase him down, and nobody else really did. David Norris, I skied with him for a lot of the race. He chased for a bit, but we never really. We just assumed it would come back, and we could see him through the woods till double O. It was maybe 20 to 30 seconds roughly, and he was just floating out in front of us, and he just looked pretty smooth. And we were just like, well, once we actually kind of hit the gas, he's gonna come back to us. And I had amazing skis the whole race. Which was super helpful for me to be able to just kind of relax. And then the double O, David Norris blasted up that hill. At the bottom of the double O climb, he asked me, he's like, do you know when double O is coming up? And I was thinking about lying to him because I know if I told him, like, this is it, he was going to blast. I didn't lie, and I said, yeah, we're on it. And he blasted. And he gapped me and the rest of the field. But over the top of it, I told myself not today, so I went about as hard as I could possibly go and caught back up to David, and we were away together for maybe the next 5K. I wish I could help him lead to stay away from everyone, but I used a lot of matches to close up to him, and again, like, I thought we were going to see JJ or Gerard through the woods, but I think we were only maybe 35-ish seconds behind him at double O, but from double O down to Mosquito Brook, it's kind of like purgatory. You just kind of roll in, and there's some little bit of climbing, but it's just kind of fast and flowy, and you're kind of just mind wanders. And I was just thinking about the fact that I was already starting to cramp, so I was just thinking of those the four major climbs at the end of the race, and we got caught from behind by the next group with some of the Spanish guys and Michael Earnhardt, and I managed to get up over all three of the first three of the four, and then on 77 climb on Sunset, that last, it's like three rollers that are kickers, and Norris went into another gear, nobody could match him, and I got dropped by that group. I managed to catch back up on all the downs and the flats leading up to the lake, so I was very thankful I didn't have to do the lake by myself. But my skis were flying the whole day, and but the guys I was skiing with definitely noticed that. They were impressed. They kept looking at me like, why are you still with us with the purple bib on? And it was really exciting to have JJ win. He was super pumped with his wax service, and we did skis for Caitlin and Brian Gregg with Team Gregg, and Caitlin had rocket skis as well. Caitlin went on an SC1 grind, just like me. Ian will talk grinds as well with that. I think if we had ground JJ skis, they probably would have had even better skis, because the grind that he was on is a grind that I also have on some of my skis from Solomon. It just it didn't test as well as some of the other stuff, which is, we should grind well for our region because we live here. So a grind that's developed and tested in France probably not going to be as good as a grind that we develop and test locally here. And then we had who else did we have? Chelsea Youngberg. We picked skis for her, and we were helping her with wax and skis. Anybody else in the? I mean, we did a lot of the Elite Wave. Like our Elite Wave wax service is really big, and that's why I'm, as a business owner and just looking at the checking account, and I'm like, wax more skis. And these guys are like, do you want us to wax your skis? Or should we?
I think we were at 52 or 53 in the Elite Wave.
Yeah. So a quarter of the Elite Wave, or like a big chunk. And so, so we had we wanted to cut off. These guys slept 2.5 hours on Friday night, and so they want to be able to not just put wax on the skis and make an educated guess, which if I had to trust somebody to guess, these guys would be the ones that I would let guess, but they didn't want to do that. So they tested over 24 glide wax options. And so as I was sitting in the store on Thursday, I was watching the webcam of Double O, and I saw Ian and Matt Clark literally skiing for, I don't know, 3 hour testing. Like, it was just kept going back and forth, and I was texting them like, what's winning? And like, they just weren't responding to me because they were still skiing. Which was cool to see. And then and Jeremy this year got to work at the expo a bit more, which was really nice to kind of share information of what our testing results were. And then we had to, you guys waxed a lot of skis, and just from the pointy end of the race, thank you. It was awesome having really competitive skis. But I'll let Ian talk about ski selection, grind choice, and hand structure, and then Jeremy will talk what actually was in the recipe.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, it was super fun getting to wax skis for Gerard and Matt and Brian, Caitlin, Chelsea. I know when we were coming down Main Street to watch, we were all pretty excited to see everybody finish, and just giving them fast skis to give a chance to show what they can do still was super fun. So I'll mostly talk about I was helping Matt select skis on Friday. It was when I was doing most of that testing, and we had a number of pairs in the mix. So there's some mostly Solomon, some Solomon Blues, some Uni. We had a G1 grind, SC1 grind on kind of a mixture. So the main ones that we came down to was a Uni SC1, Blue SC1, and then a Blue with a G1. And the pair that we had found the best that he raced on was a Blue with an SC1. So we found that cold base material was really running well compared to the Uni, but the SC1 grind was better, and that's really cool because we developed that grind for around here. We want to make sure that it's running well, so we're really happy with that. The G1 is a good grind that they use a lot, but knowing that the grind that we developed was running well was great. And then in terms of structure, we had found that just a little bit of structure helped, so we tested a handful of things, with the -5, -20 from Red Creek being our favorite. The next best was a blank or just our SC1 grind on it. So the blank actually did beat some of the grinds that are the more aggressive structures. So that's kind of what we had found from ski selection and structure.
I would also interject that the ski that I was on, the ski that Brian was on, the ski that Caitlin was on, wasn't, it's all Solomon Race Room product, but 30 feet away is our ski wall, and all the Solomon skis that we were on was from stuff that, we picked this summer. And so
the ski that Caitlin was on was picked 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, exactly. So Caitlin had a pair of SL1, it's a Solomon cold grind, on a blue ski that I picked for her maybe 2 months ago, I think. That she's raced most of the marathons on this year. We wanted to have an SC1 ski for her, and that happened to go on a blue that I picked as well. The blues were a little better flex for her than some of the unis I had left. I mean, because this was 3 weeks ago, so she ended up racing on that, and she really, really likes that ski. And that serial batch, I think it's 4109. I mean, there's 14 pairs of those left. So, I mean, it's kind of cool to see that some of the fastest skis in the world are sitting here on our retail shelf, which is really cool. And that goes for Brian's skis and my skis and Chelsea Youngberg skis. So, like, what we're using at kind of the pointy end of the race is what everybody can have access to. Same with having these guys wax the skis as well. So that was super cool. And like Gerard won with the G1, which is kind of a, it's developed in Europe and it's the French race room grind, and it'll work every now and then pretty well in North America. But our SC1 I feel like works all the time across all of North America. I know that G1 grind in Europe can be pretty fast. I think Gerard would have won by even more if he was on our grind too, which is crazy because he took off. But
yeah, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about wax here. So with our Birkie service, when we're waxing for, I think this year was 430 skiers, plus an additional like 6 to 10 people that think that they're special. Matt. So we had so with our Birkie service, one thing that we've learned over the past few years, I think it was 3 or 4 years ago, we had a service that was not as good as what we come to expect. We narrowed that down to just the base layers, just not being durable enough. So what we've done in the last couple of years, and we've had some pretty good skis the last few years, has been that base layer. So that stark green is the first thing that we put on. So as soon as the skis get here, as soon as we get access to them, we just start putting that layer on. Just let it sit for some time. So I think that we started putting in the first layers. We had skis dropped off the Thursday or Friday prior to Birkie, and we were already putting that stark green in and just letting it sit. And then in terms of what the next steps were, we kind of used some forecasting, and I had some people up there doing some testing prior to us getting up to Birkie land, figuring out what waxes are working. And the race paraffin that we narrowed down on was NF31 from Rex. It's really good. Again, another hard paraffin, and that's really what we were looking for with the cold forecasted temperatures, and also knowing that there was going to be some dirt mixed into the snow. We wanted the hard, durable paraffins to help out with those colder temperatures and with that dirt in the snow. So as soon as we were done with the stark green, moved on to that NF31, and by the time we got up to Birkie land to do testing, we had already found out that that our guess ahead of time was actually the number one option. So on Thursday, Ian did some paraffin testing, and I think that we tested 8 or 10 different paraffins, and out of all those paraffins, Rex NF31 was best on that Thursday. And then on Friday, when we did the follow-up testing, trying to figure out if we could find some top coats, liquids, blocks, or really anything to outrun that. And there really wasn't too much that was pushing the boundaries of that NF31. The only product we found that was maybe a little bit better, and it was maybe a little bit better, was the Star Durable powder. And when we were testing these products, we were at Double O, on the north side of Double O, on trails that hadn't really been skied in from the Cordy, and the snow was still definitely a bit colder and more freshly groomed. So we found that in the more freshly groomed, the colder stuff, that Star Durable powder on top of the NF31 was really quite good. The stuff that was maybe a little bit more skied in, the NF31 felt just as good as that Star Durable powder. And so kind of what we did for a breakdown was, if you were in the elite wave or wave 1, just kind of the front end of the race where there's going to be less skied in snow, we topped that the Stark Green NF31 with Star Durable. And from waves 2 onward, we did the Stark Green NF31 and then covered that with a cold application of the NF31 using a rotowool to apply that.
And that can be super fast. I ended up winning I was second place in a college race last winter with the NF31 roto fleeced on, so it's quite slippery. And then these guys, when they're testing wax, they're gonna ski in the groomed, the comb, and then they're gonna try to ski in the most skied in section they possibly can, and then they'll go bomb around and try to find some fresh ungroomed stuff to ski through. So like trying to plus glide outs as well. So we're trying to ski across as many different snow types or snow conditions that people would experience in the race. Like testing for elite wave or wave 1 or 2, they're going to be a little bit more combed, groomed snow. It's going to be, and then farther back, it's going to get chopped, pretty good, and some ice and some powdery berms, and so we know that, and we're going to try to test in all those different conditions as well, and then run it through some snow that hasn't even been skied in or groomed yet, which happened on the north half of the trail just a little bit. We got just a quarter-inch dusting of snow, and so anytime we're like, oh, we think this is our winning product, let's go point it, at new snow, at skied-in snow, in the classic track, like ski it through some dirt, make sure it doesn't pick up, slow down too much, which I was really happy with all the hard base layers of wax in the ski, because the course was dirty. The north half not so much, but the second half there's definitely dirtier patches, and I was bunny hopping over every snowmobile crossing and road crossing I could to try not to get the skis dirted out. But even though I hit some dirt, my skis stayed quite fast, because I think they stayed quite clean, which was really, really important. Jeremy's done testing at World Cup and Olympic when they do durability testing, and they ski the same wax, because they want to know, is this wax going to be fast for the 30K or the 50K skiathlon. They don't care if it won in the test. When the rubber meets the road and it's the last 5K of a race and Jesse needs to sprint away from everybody to win a gold medal, like that's when they need the fastest skis too. And so Jeremy's spent long hours skiing in. That's when he gets his secret fitness. Yeah. But these guys didn't have time to do that this week. but just I know when you look at that, how much dirt causes slowness to increase in the skis. It is an exponential curve. So from 0 to 10K, not much difference. 0 to 20, a little bit. 0 to 30, it starts to fall off, and then that 40 and that 50K mark, generally things just start going vertical on how much the skis slow down. So for me as a racer, I know that because I've seen the data. I've seen the speed curves over distance, and makes me work really hard to avoid dirty snow if I can early in the race. Like I am not taking best line. I am dancing around stuff just because it doesn't matter right at that moment. It's not going to matter 5 minutes from then, even 30 minutes later, but 45 minutes, an hour later, it's cumulative. So I was trying to ski around the dirty snow as much as I could. And I know many of you farther back in the waves, maybe not possible, but just something to think about.
Yeah, and that's what I noticed myself with the race. So once we got done handing out pretty much all the skis, I actually ended up joining in on Wave 9. I try to do that in most years where it's a nice Birkie and it's fun to ski. I'm a fair weather skier, so last year with laps, I was I don't need to do it. But when I first started, I actually was like slightly nervous about our skis because I had the exact same wax as everybody else did, and that first 10K or so until high point, I could tell that my skis were good, but they weren't necessarily as good as what I came to expect or what I was hoping for. And I'm like, well, we'll see. But after that high point, after the first 10K or so, every K after that, my skis just kept on getting faster and faster. And by the time we got to the end of the race, nobody stood a chance holding up to me on the downhills, which is really quite nice. And then it kind of gave me a little bit of hope that, okay, maybe we made some good skis today. And then come through the finish line just asking, like, hey, where did people finish up at? Who won? Because I don't know, I did it in 4 hours. I finished probably 2.5 hours after Matt did, at least. And talking to people and said, oh, some guy just kind of went off the front and he won by a little bit and didn't know his name, but it's probably foreign. I'm like, all right, well, that's probably Gerard. I think we waxed his skis. So I was pretty happy about that. And I was like, well, does anybody know how Matt did? And somebody said that he was 6. I'm like, all right, well, we definitely made some good skis. So yeah, the other piece I know that I'm going to get some comments on is kick wax. So what we did for kick wax and kick wax recommendation. So we ended up waxing. Everybody had that did our service with kick wax skis. We put on the binder of just the Rex base wax plus Rex base liquid clister. Basically, we just put on the liquid clister, followed that up with the base wax, melted it in together. Makes a really hard, durable binder. And then the recommendation that we were giving out and we had on the table was the blue kick wax with blue special, and then covered that with N21G. I ended up waxing for Adam, one of the other owners here at the shop, and he really, really liked his skis. Said that his skis were faster than pretty much everybody and had zero issues getting up the hills. And the big thing that we changed from the initial recommendations that we had here at the shop to what we found out in testing and on race day was we kind of just shifted everything just a little bit warmer. That initial recommendation we had was looking at the greens for the elite wave and wave 1, and then the blues for the later waves. And we ended up shifting more towards the blues, and then even adding in warmer waxes, burying a blue special or a violet into that blue wax. But the biggest thing that made a difference, I think, was the covering everything with the N21G from Rex. It's a black wax for new snow. That little skiff of new snow we had right away, I think it made a big difference having that on as that extra top coat, the speed cover, and also helped prevent picking up some dirt throughout the race. So yeah, the kick wax, I think that went really well, and I think the rest of our service, from what I've been reading in emails, I literally just got one 5 minutes ago, thanking us for skis, and that everybody in their cabin had great skis. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to well, I guess give us another week or two, and I'll be looking forward to next year's Birkie. So
Awesome.
Yep. Thank you, everybody that trusts us with your race skis to make them fast. We take that very seriously, and we are happy to do our very best for you. And yeah, I just was excited that that we had some of the race potential winners that we were waxing for and picking skis for, like Jess Eaton. We picked her skis just 2-3 weeks ago, and then Caitlin and Chelsea Youngberg and Gerard. So that's and I just get kind of drug along with that because these guys get more excited about them than me, probably. It's like
I heard you were sick.
Yeah.
That was sweet. That was fun to watch.
But I had same experience as Jeremy. Like, my skis were very good the first 10K, and then after that they just kept getting better and better and better compared to the field. And that's what I'd want. Like, I want the skis. I've had other Birkies where they best skis in the field the first 20K, and then they just keep getting a little slower, and I keep getting slower as the race goes on. So, yeah, I know some of you hit rocks and dirt out there, and the skis are a little rough because it was a thin year. So we will be doing kind of a Birkie grind special. We're not going to do that for a little while yet. We still have junior nationals coming up and a bunch of other race series for juniors and some more masters marathons. And so once we kind of get through that, take a week to recompose ourselves, then we'll do an email blast, and we'll be doing a special grind offering to get bases back to healthy after hitting some stuff.
Yep.
Awesome.
Cool. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thanks.